considering you have the level of fighters you have with John Jones and Aaron Pico, what are things that you do to be able to push them that you feel like you must do as a trainer, considering, these guys aren't in any way egotistical or like in any way like arrogant. But that being said, if when you're told all the time you're the best, like, it's sometimes it's very easy for natural to just to put your foot on the brakes a little. I know that they're very good at not doing that. They're obviously professionals and the best of the best, but what do you do to make sure that you're challenging them at every level, pushing them through new exercises, new training things to get them always thinking on their toes so that they're always hungry for the next fight, no matter how great they really are?
Well, and that's it. Like they're hungry for the next fight, but they're also as hungry for knowledge, right? That's how they get to this level. They have that curiosity to them. They have that will to want to master new techniques. So sometimes it's about making sure you give them options, techniques, movements, strategies that are within their style to continue to push them and develop them. Sometimes it's going back to the foundational blocks and keeping it sharp, remembering what got you to the dance. Um, sometimes it's about studying, sometimes it's about being inspired by like the next generation of fighters and what they're doing. Um, sometimes it's about being inspired by some bad dude on the other side of the globe that you might get matched up with one day and being prepared for that, even if there's no immediate matchup. There's a little bit of everything in testing these guys. And sometimes it's about just keeping the room light and fun and making practice a place where you want to be.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think that's a very wise observation of you because if you've played any sports in your life, you've had a barometer of coaches. You've had pretty hard ass ones. You've had maybe like players coach type people. You kind of if you played any sport, you've had a good mix of it all. But I think at the end of the day, the best coaches are the ones that know how to adapt to their clientele at the highest level in the sense of like, okay, I could be harder on this guy because honestly, he responds to that better. Like, like he may be a little annoyed at me, but I know that actually I get better out of him when I do that. And he actually responds to it. He gets angry and he knows how to use that anger. There's some other people who are like, that doesn't work. He just gets annoyed and he just shuts off and he doesn't really learn the way I would like him to learn. Or this exercise specifically is a lot better for him. It's better for his framework, his athletic ability. Like he can actually use this in a fight. This one be kind of useless. And I think that's honestly why you're such a respected coach because I think you know how to identify what your fighter is on every level, on a physical level, on a technical level, on an emotional level, psychological, and then you work with what they got, and that's the name of the game.
Yeah, man. And I learned just as much from the fighters as they probably learned from me, and there's so many things I've carried from training guys like Alistair Overeem or Cody Garbrandt or Cowboy Cerrone that, now later in my career I'm applying to Aaron Pico, which is cool as I develop and grow in my own career to start taking these little gems and jewels through my experience and see how I can kind of reapply them and refit them into other fighters.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. Um, do you ever look back and just think like, man, like I when I first started, I couldn't imagine having the fighters I got and the situation I'm in. Like, I think that's just like a really cool thing to sometimes like not to look back all the time, but sometimes you go, fuck, like when you were started as an MMA coach, there's no guarantee of money, there's no guarantee of work, there's no guarantee of clients, no guarantee of none of that shit. It's like, what made you keep going to now be where you're at? You're Brandon Gibson, you got the best fighters in the world.
Yeah, it's been a long road and a lot of sacrifices in that. And I'm grateful to the fighters that believed in me and coaches like Greg Jackson that really believed in me and gave me opportunity. And it's kind of funny looking back. There was a time in my early career where I was coaching like a fitness kickboxing, like mostly women, and I would do that on Fridays and Saturdays, and then Monday through Thursday I was holding pads for young amateurs and young pros. And I remember the the team at the cardio kickboxing gym, who I got a lot of love and respect for. There's a lot of things I learned in that gym on how to like lead a big group and motivate like a big group. And anyway, but they were like, you're doing your family a disservice by teaching for free Monday through Thursday. You should be here teaching cardio kickboxing Monday through Thursday, making more money for your family. And I was just like, no, one day I'm going to be a high level coach. Like that Monday through Thursday is my investment in my future. Friday, Saturday, right now, I was just paying some bills with some skills I have. But so sometimes the that vision of like I'm gonna I'm going to coach a UFC champion. There's a lot of obstacles in between that, and to get there and to develop the skill to get you to that level takes a lot of sacrifice, and there's not going to be money in it. You know, it's a lot of labor, it's a lot of sweat, it's a lot of pain, and but if you stay the course, you might end up there, God willing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's funny because I mean, I've interviewed a ton of people on here now, and from every realm, from comedians to nutritionists to like whatever, sports legends, and every one of them kind of has a very similar outlook or very similar like style of what you just portrayed, where it's like there's not going to be money in the beginning, and it's like you can't look at it that way, and you have to just be excited about getting better and learning your craft. Like, and the crazy part is like having if you have any support during that, like like that's that's the woman of your dreams or that's your friend or whatever. Because anyone who believes in you when you haven't gotten it yet is like that's just like a huge blessing. Like most people, a lot of people don't have that. They just have only themselves, which is cool. But either way, I think that's the most impressive thing is like I always ends up working out for people like you. Always. Like it's so weird, but it's a consistent theme, like from everyone I've interviewed who's successful in whatever realm, that they were just like, I'll do shit for free. I don't give a fuck. It's for the love of the game. I'm in it, and this is what I'm passionate about. And it doesn't matter if you're in it for sucking toes. Like that's if you're passionate about it, you'll probably go pro someday. Like it doesn't matter what it is, but
Yeah.
I think that's just so cool, man.